All right, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Whatever time it is, wherever in the world it is that you are. Welcome once more to another live stream of Alexandra Mayers live page by page reading and commentary of the modern English version of the Bible. So let's see. I'll share some personal thoughts in regards to something I want to keep some of you who listen to me for whatever reason posted on. But let's just go ahead and jump right back into the second book of Samuel. Today we're getting into chapter 22, which I'm kind of excited to read because it's been a little while since I've reached a point in the Bible that has a song or a poem. And all of you who follow me, you know I love songs and poems. I'm a songwriter to an extent. And so far, I have made 3 AI assisted tracks for this Bible reading since I've begun. And you can find those on the video tab of this channel, Alexandra Mayers. You know, the last one, The Lament of David, I didn't initially like how that one came out for a few reasons. It was more, for some reason, that particular AI track came out more so as a spoken word over music. But considering something that I linked it to recently, it turned out to be absolutely perfect. That particular song has a couple lines in it actually that made me question. I'm like, wait a minute, why did David say that? And there's a lot of reasons as to why he could have. I'm not even going to go into detail about what hit my mind, but it was perfect when it came to me having to address a certain issue in regards to a live streamer that is really the character he created is one of my favorite streaming characters. It absolutely is. And his name, the actor who created the character, his name ironically is David. So it was just perfect for me to reference that particular track to a live stream that I did on another project of mine that's available on YouTube, but we're not going to get so much into that. So today, second book of Samuel, chapter 22 goes, well, it's titled David's Song of Deliverance. I didn't pre-read this in advance, so I'm going into it fresh with all of you who don't know about this. And then after I read this, I'm going to maybe share a few more personal thoughts. So here we go. David's Song of Deliverance. Now on the day the Lord delivered him from the hand of all of his enemies and from the hand of Saul, David spoke to the Lord the words of this song. He said, "The Lord is my rock and my fortress and my deliverer, the God of my strength, in whom I will trust, my shield and the horn of my salvation, my fortress and my sanctuary, my Savior, you save me from violence. I call upon the Lord, who is praiseworthy, and I am saved from my enemies. When the waves of death encompassed me, the currents of destruction made me afraid. The ropes of Sheol were wrapped around me. The snares of death were opposite me. In my distress, I called upon the Lord and cried out to my God. From his temple, he heard my voice. My cry reached his ears. Then the earth quaked and trembled. The foundations of the heaven rumbled and shook because he was angry. Smoke rose from his nostrils, devouring fire from his mouth. Coals blazed forth from him. He bowed the heavens as he came down, with thick darkness under his feet. He rode upon a cherub as he flew. and appeared upon the wings of the wind. He made darkness canopies around him, dark waters and thick clouds of the skies. From the brightness before him embers of fire are kindled. The Lord thundered from heaven, and the Most High uttered his voice. He sent out arrows and dispersed them. With lightning, he sent them into confusion. The channels of the sea appeared, and the foundations of the world were exposed. With the rebuke of the Lord, from the blast of breath from his nostrils. He reached from on high and took me. He drew me out of mighty waters. He rescued me from my strong enemy, from those who hate me, for they were stronger than I. They confronted me in the day of my disaster, but the Lord was my support. He brought me to the open expanse. He rescued me, for he delighted in me. The Lord did for me according to my righteousness, according to the cleanness of my hands. He recompensed me. For I have kept the ways of the Lord, and I have not become guilty against my God. For all his judgments are before me, and I have not abandoned his statutes. I am blameless toward him, and I have kept myself from guilt. The Lord has recompensed me according to my righteousness, according to my cleanness in his sight. With the faithful you prove yourself faithful. With the blameless you prove yourself blameless. With the pure you show yourself pure. But with the perverse you show yourself shrewd. You deliver a humble people, but your eyes are upon the exalted to bring them down. For you are my lamp, O Lord. The Lord illuminates my darkness. For by you I can run over a channel. By my God, I can leap over a wall. As for God, his way is perfect. The word of the Lord is proven. He is a shield for all who take refuge in him. For who is God except the Lord? And who is a rock except our God? God is my strong fortress, and he sets the blameless on his way. He makes my feet like hinds' feet. He sets me on my high places. He trains my hand for battle, so that my arm may bend a bow of bronze. You have given me a shield of your salvation, and your humility has made me great. You widen my stride under me, and my feet do not stagger. I pursued my enemies and destroyed them. I did not turn back until they were consumed. I consumed them and shattered them so that they did not rise. They fell under my feet. You girded me with strength for the battle. You subjugated under me those who rose up against me. You caused my enemies to retreat from me. I destroyed those who hated me. They looked, but there was no one to save them. To the Lord, but he did not respond. I crushed them like the dust of the land, like the mud of the streets. I ground them and stamped them down. You have also delivered me from the strivings of my people. You have kept me as the head of the nations. A people whom I have not known will serve me. Foreigners submit to me, cringing. As soon as they hear, they obey me. Foreigners lose heart. They gird themselves as they leave their fortresses. The Lord lives. Blessed be my rock. May the God of the rock of my salvation be exalted, the God who gave me retribution and brought down peoples under me, who brought me out from my enemies. You exalted me above those who rose up against me. You delivered me from violent ones. Therefore, I praise you, O Lord, among the nations. I sing praises to your name. He is a tower of salvation for his king, and he acts faithfully toward his anointed, toward David and his descendants forever. Wow. This was exactly what I needed to hear this morning. This is exactly what someone else that I'm doing my best to help. Not because I necessarily want to help this woman at this point, but because I know God wants me to for a lot of reasons, and I'm doing it. I guess later today, I'll put David's Song of Deliverance. I'll feed it into the AI program and see what the AI program gives me, and I'll post it. God is definitely testing me right now when it comes to a multitude of things on a multitude of levels. You know, late last night, I couldn't sleep. And a lot of times when I can't sleep, it's because I have so many things going on in my head. And I have discovered that when it comes to certain things, when it comes to my brand of philanthropy, I need for those who listen to me for the right reasons to know what's in my head. And I'm very grateful that I live in the times that I live in, to where at any time of the day I can empty my mind. And I did that last night. And it turned out to be a bit of a powwow when it comes to some people who care about this particular woman who I've heard the call to help to the best of my ability as much as I can while preserving myself. And it was a special night, especially at the end. A really, really, really wonderful person who I've gotten to know over the years, a woman. She came in, and I know that when I first started helping this particular woman who I'm talking about, I know she absolutely didn't understand why. But she's willing to give me a chance on that, even if I have to learn the hard way. And I'm so appreciative to her for that. Um, One half of a set of twins who are very strong community leaders when it comes to their community. One half of the set of twins came in, and I think he's watched me for a while, and we had a good conversation. If I hadn't been so tired, I would have wanted to talk to him more, but I was so tired by the end of that particular live stream, because it was more than a stream, it was kind of a meeting, which was interesting. But he listened to me and I listened to him. And then I woke up this morning and I heard from someone who also helped this particular woman, but who this particular woman that I'm speaking of was not appreciative of. And this particular woman and I are very unique superficially when it comes to this particular community that all of this is happening within. And it's kind of a good experience, I think, spiritually for us both, because I think part of the reason that she and I haven't really come together is because we're so similar in a lot of ways, very similar. And sometimes like repels like, but I feel part of the reason that I've been drawn into this particular situation is because she needed to rest and was exhausted, not just of some resources, but also a lot of her energy. And she has a responsibility that I don't have, which has to do with this particular woman being a mom who helped the woman that I'm talking about overall. So that happened. So what am I going to do today? A lot. I'm keeping myself on a pretty good schedule. I'm actually behind on schedule already because I need to call a family member who I told her I would call her about an hour or 2 hours ago. But I forgot about the time difference, and I also needed some extra rest. But I woke up today feeling pretty energized. That's good. After I talked to, actually, while I'm talking to my family member, I think today I'm going to eat some oatmeal. I like apple oatmeal a lot, so I'm going to have that. Then I'm going to do some work. There's an errand that I need to run, but maybe I'll wait until tomorrow to run that errand. But I still have to, I need to just get out and about a little bit today. I like to get out and about even if I don't really need to. But I don't want to run the particular errand in question today. I'll wait till tomorrow because I need to get some materials together before I run that errand. And I meant to do a live video stream, a commentary or recap yesterday, but it didn't happen. But it will happen today because the other half of this particular set of twins, I need to get to know a little bit better. And in this circumstance, I'll be able to do it through watching some of his previous live streams, but I want some other people who are helping me right now, people that I know of, but also I know some people that I cannot see. We're going to have to learn about him together. So that's going to be interesting. That'll be fun, but I'll do that later in the day. Gotti is in here. I'm glad you're in here. You know, Gotti, and I want you to know I'm not upset with you in the least if you suspect I am, because I'm not. What went down when it came to the mutual friend that we have and how we initially, you and I, connected, I have to keep him at bay for a while because he is still connected to someone I don't want any connection to. And I think that he thought I was going to compromise when it came to that. I can't, for my own well-being. And also, I have to conserve my energy extensively because he's a little bit of an energy drain, and he knows it, just like you know. I gave him a lot of my energy. And he actually reminds me of this woman that I'm trying to help a bit right now, who I'm really annoyed by and who I'm really tired of. The only reason I'm keeping up with this is because God has asked me to, and I know it's a spiritual test. Fine, fine, fine. And maybe there is a part of me that wants to help her, but really, it's so hard and I feel like giving up because it's brought some negativity into my life, which I really don't want to deal with. Because when it comes to a certain community, I feel like I already completed something that I was initially sent in for. I completed it the day before yesterday. I feel like my mission already is done. This is like an add-on that I'm not exactly happy about. And it's putting me at risk because this stupid girl, she's smart in a lot of ways, and she's doing some things that she should not be doing when it comes to me, because just like some people are after her, they've been after me too. I'm not saying necessarily the same, but there are some overlaps there. And I know that they have spoken to her and they want her to basically serve me up on a platter, and I'm not letting her. And if she's listening, she needs to know that I can see that. But I'm doing what I feel I'm supposed to do. But getting back to what I was saying about the mutual friend that I initially connected with Gotti in regards to, he's a lot like Shay. That's her name, Shay. Shay Alexandra. That's her name. I almost feel like they need to meet. You know, at one point he bought that wig to impersonate her. He didn't need the wig. He didn't need it at all. That's almost his sister from another mister. When I really think about it, the level that they both consume energy, and they are both so out of balance, and they wonder why things happen in their life that happen. It's because they're both so damn greedy and selfish. And I'm still his friend. I'm still John's friend. I'm his real friend, and he's not used to real friends. A lot of people are not used to real friends. There was a time in my life that I wasn't used to real friends. And I learned the hard way. Real friends are not yes people. Real friends are not toys for you to play with. Real friends often tell you no. And that is what John needs to learn, just like Shay. But I'm not talking to John right now because John still has not learned. And I am not going to allow John's friends in my life because I don't like a lot of John's friends. But anyway, so you're saying I need to get a telescope? You're right. I've been thinking about doing that, but it's not the right time just yet. But I agree, I would find it relaxing. I don't like how he tried to play a certain game with me before I cut off communication this time. I do not like that. I don't like that one bit. And then having the nerve to tell me I'm cold. You know, I am cold to an extent. I was raised to be cold, and I have made a lot of progress over the years. He needs to apologize to me for a few things, and I'm not talking about a superficial apology. I'm sorry, I love you. No, 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 no. It's going to have to be something else. It just will. There's a lot of people actually who need to give me real apologies. And I will not demand the apologies. I don't even really need the apologies. But I think that people who really want to be in my life might want to do that. But it's up to them, you know. I try to be, but I had to learn how to be warm. I was raised to be very cold for my own protection, and I understand why. I do know why. You know, I have really good parents. Really, 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 really good parents. I didn't always realize how good of parents I have until recently, but I definitely have amazing parents. So I'm not sure who you are, CB87C7I, but welcome. I'm glad you're here, whoever you are. All right, I better get going because I need to call my family member before too much time goes by. So let me do that. And at some point today, I'm going to do a video commentary to get to know the other half of the set of twins that I need to put some energy into because it's really going to be those two who I think end up helping extensively this particular woman, Shay, who I feel God assigned me to for a little bit. And I could be wrong, maybe not, but for some reason I'm supposed to get to know those two, so I'm doing it. But let me get going. Everyone have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.